One thing that I have become very passionate about lately is paint pouring. I had no clue about it, and one day I was just looking on Pinterest and I just saw someone pour paint on a canvas, and I'm like, I have got to try that. So I've just started learning how to do it. So today I'm going to do some paint pouring with you, and I think the reason I wanted to do this is because I actually feel like paint pouring has actually taught me a lot about how to do my life. I feel like there's some life lessons that I can learn from that. So usually how I start is I put the paint into each cup. I am doing a little extra because I'm hoping to do a bunch of paintings today. Because like I said in my last video, one of my favorite things to do is to do projects for these youth that I work with. So it's birthday season right now, so I want to make them some paintings, and I think for them, when I actually take my own time to make them paintings, it means so much. So if you don't know, I work with homeless or street-entrenched or just broken youth. I just love to try to find ways to just show them that they are valued. So one of these ways is to make paintings for them. So again, I'm just learning the consistency. I usually do half and half. I'm sure professional paint pourers might tell me to do differently, but I just do what works with me. I got some spatulas from the dollar store so I don't have to throw things out. I want to try to take care of the environment the best way possible. I know paint pouring often has a lot of waste involved. So today I'm going to be paint pouring onto some parchment paper, and then I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to see what kind of artwork I can do with that, because I think that I can make something out of anything. So, well, I hope I can. So I'm going to just mix all these paints. That's probably good. I just like to get it till there's no more glue and it looks well mixed. I've studied in some of the paint pouring, they say you should stir it slowly so you don't get bubbles. And I actually don't completely mind the bubbles in my paintings, because I usually take a little lighter to my paint pour afterwards, and when the bubbles pop, I actually like the look of them. So I'm not as careful when I'm stirring. Maybe I should be. Just as long as the consistency is similar to the other ones. So now that all my paints are ready, I'm gonna just prepare my canvas. So what I do is I take push pins and I put them into the bottom of the canvas. And the purpose of this is so that as the paint is dripping off the sides, it won't cause the canvas to stick to the bottom. And I've done that before, and it's very hard, especially once it dries, to get the paper or whatever you have on the bottom of your box. It's really hard to keep it from attaching to your canvas, and it can cause the paint to rip. So I just do that so that when we put it down, it will have some room to drip. So now that the paint is all ready, we are going to take our cup and we're going to start pouring the paint into the cup in layers. And as I paint pour, I'm going to be talking to you about the life lessons that paint pouring can teach. One of my favorite things about paint pouring is that I never know how the painting's gonna turn out. And I think I'm just someone who likes surprises. Maybe it's the way I grew up. My mom and dad, they did a good job at making things that maybe even go wrong sound exciting, because they didn't want us to be fearful. So I think it just made me love surprises. We never know how life will turn out. So we might as well enjoy and embrace the journey. Another thing I love about paint pouring is I love how messy I get. And I don't know why I like that. I'm kind of weird, but I love being covered in paint when I'm making something beautiful. And I think it's interesting because I feel like that's kind of like my life. I in some ways, I love walking with people who have so much hurt and brokenness in their life, and I love entering into the pain with them and like kind of like getting covered in it with them and then walking with them to healing and hope. But I think one thing I need to remember to do is to make sure I wash myself after I hear such horrific stories and walk through some hard things with these youth. Because it's important that you don't stay covered in paint forever. It's okay when you're just doing it for a short time, but I don't want to be covered in it forever. Life is messy, but if we truly want to love and help people, I really believe that we have to be okay with sitting with them in their pain, and that might feel like our hands are covered in paint sometimes. But the important part is that we don't stay covered in the paint forever. So when we aren't with them, it's really important that we don't carry the burdens and that we let ourselves be washed off from what we heard. And the way I do that is I just ask the giver of life to carry the burdens for me. And every time I do that, I feel so much lighter, and I just ask him to just wash off everything so that I can be able to rest and then be 100% the next time I engage. So now it's been a couple days since I did the paint pour, and it's all dry now. It usually takes a little while for it to dry, but also depends on the temperature of where I'm drying it. With this painting, I'm actually going to do another painting on top of it, because one thing I love to do with the youth is just to ask the creator what he thinks about them, and then I get these pictures, and then I usually draw the picture on top, so it's even more significant. I don't just give it like this. So I'm going to do that before the next time I post on here, and then on the next video I will show a picture of the final product. Anyways, I'd love to continue journeying with you. You can subscribe to my channel, and if you're someone who likes paint pouring, or if you're someone who's going to try it for the first time and you wanted to post a picture of what you did, I would love to see it. Anyways, as we walk this journey of life and as we help others, I just hope that we can remember to just embrace the journey and also be okay with sitting with people in their pain, but also make sure we do some self-care and wash off all the burdens.